Hey, what's going on guys? So in this episode, we're just going to be going through a few things such as the environment, and we're going to be working on creating a chest which once you collect a key, you will then be able to unlock that and we'll make some coins come out of it or something like that. So let's get to it. So first, I'm just going to quickly start. Let's just get this environment looking a bit nicer. So we're going to add a background. So to do this, we're just going to insert a new object, add a sprite, and we're just going to select background layer. We can just drag this out, and that's that for the first background layer. We can just call this background, and we can just lock this so we don't accidentally click it. Okay, and now so another thing is, so in the pack that I've included, there are many layers which would be great for parallaxing. Unfortunately, with the free version of Construct, we're limited with this, and so what I can do is I'll show you the method, but I think for now we might just have to keep the background static. But what we'll do is we'll just go into sprite. Well, actually for this what we need to do is we need to search tiled background. Now what this does is this just allows you to drag this out and it will just keep pasting out. So we will select background layer here, this one. And this is just the main first piece that we've got. And this sort of works as like a connector between like the above world and below. If you want to do like sub area things such as caves, or if you want to do like underwater things. And then we just want to drag this out and just line it up like this. Now you might find a couple of issues. So as you can see here, when we start to drag this out, there's a seam right here where you can see it. All we have to do is just go to the right, get the selection tool, and we can just drag down, delete that, and we can just select this icon right here, this crop transparent edges. We'll hit that. There we go. So just like that. And then we can align this up to where you want. And you just drag it out. Like so. Okay, great. So then what we'll do is you then just need to repeat that step with all the additional layers. And I mean, I can quickly insert a few, and I might speed this up. Okay guys, and then what I will show is I will just quickly show you how to actually set up the parallaxing if you're able to do that. So what we need to do is we'd add a new layer, and what we would do is we change the parallaxing values, and then we can rename this one to background. And then we could set this one to 90 by 90. And as you can see, you can already see a parallax effect there. So that's how you'd set that up anyways, guys. So that's how you'd add more depth to your backgrounds. Alright guys, so I've just quickly put this together. I've just dragged in these, so all I've done is the tiled backgrounds, I've just pasted them out, and then on different layers I've just set different parallaxing. So as you can see, we go down, so we got 80, 70, 65, and I just played around with these a little bit. And now this isn't perfect, but just to give an example, so we've now got a parallaxing background and it just adds a bit more depth. I really need to make this character a bit smaller. But yeah, so as you can see, we've now got this working. We've got the environment. So this is starting to look a lot nicer. And then on top of this, what we could do is you can also then, you can add all sorts of different sprites. So just to fill out your world, you can add all sorts of things such as mushrooms, grass. So if you go into the foliage, we've got things here. We've got, we could add a bush. And this is dead simple for this sort of stuff. All you have to do is you can just drag them in as sprites, and you just paste them, and then all you do is just manually line them up to where you'd like, and you can just add all these different different items. And so this would be a great time, even if you just pause right now and just you could, if you haven't got this pack already, I recommend you could just download this pack and just have fun with this. Download the assets and just try and design some levels. And even just by adding a couple of those sprites there, this just, as you can see, it just starts filling in the world a little more. Now the character's way too large, so I'd recommend, you know, scaling that down. But for now I'm just trying to show you guys how to do this. So as you can see, I've got his little bush there. Now another cool feature we could add is what you can do is, so if we insert a sprite and we can just, so for now I'm just going to do the one, but you just go into foliage and let's just add one of these grass blades. So I'll just do this one here. And now for the sake of this, I'm going to scale this up, but this is just so I can better give an example. And we'll just call this grass one. Now what we can do is we can make it so that if we add, so if we head into the behaviors and we add tween, okay, then what we can do is we can go head back to the event sheet and we can go character is overlapping another object, and we're going to select the grass we've just added. And then we want to add a sub event, so we're going to right click and we're going to add blank sub event. And then we want to add character, and we want to make sure that they're moving, so when they're moving. And then on top of this we can just control C and control V to duplicate this. And we want to search the grass, and we want to search is playing, and we want to just search tween is playing. So then we need to give this a name, so we'll just call this grass for now, right? And then we want to invert this. Okay, next what we want to do is we want to head over here and we're going to search for grass one, and we're going to search one value. Now what this is tween one property, sorry. And we want to tween one property. We're going to give this a tag of grass, which we've just set. We're going to change the angle, and then inside of here we want to type self.angle plus sign. Then we want to give it some brackets, and then we want to type player, we want to type character dot platform dot vector x, and then we want to do the star, so times, and then 10. And then for the time we can make this a little so we can give this a little in between, so we could make this random. So that's how you do something random, and you can give brackets, and then you can give two values for it to choose between. So for this we could do like 0.15 and then comma and then 0.25. So now it will pick a random value between those two there. And then for the ease we can choose in, out, and then ping pong, we want that to be yes. Click done. I'm just going to paste this out a few times. Let's just test this. So as you can see, it just adds a little animation when you walk over it. Now this doesn't look great right now, you'd have to tweak this and, you know, get it looking nice. But this is just to show you, this is just a cool little effect that I found that effect in one of there's an example called Cave Finder or something like that. It's a really cool example on Construct, and that's just something that I really took, that was the main thing that I took from that. I really enjoyed that feature. So let's do the chest. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a sprite, and we're just going to add a key sprite. So I'm going to go into MISC and I'm going to select the key. Drag this over here for now, and then I'm going to go into behaviors and I'm going to give this a sine wave, just like we did with the food. And we'll preview this for a second, and so we want this to be vertical, and then we want the magnitude, we'll set that to 15 maybe. 10. Yep, 10's good. So period 4, magnitude's 10, and we've got a nice little wobble there. It just goes up and down. And then what we need to do is we need to add the chest. So I'm going to put the chest over here on this platform, and we're going to set new object, sprite, and then we can just head over here and we can find the chest in a chest folder. And as you can see, we've got a locked chest here. So you could also so this would also work if you'd like without a lock or without a key. So there's two different types. And so we're going to add this, and then we're also going to add an animation and rename this to open, and we'll rename this one to close. And then inside of open, we need to then choose the open one. As you can see, we've got those coins in there. So now I've got closed, open. We can just line this up. Like that. And I can call this chest. Okay, great. So once you've done that, we can now head back to the event sheet. And we can add an event and we can say we can say character is overlapping. So what we'll do is we'll make it so that they have to be overlapping the chest and then you press the E key. That's quite common in games. So we can go overlapping the object, chest, and then we can right click and we can add another condition. And we go keyboard, key pressed. We'll choose the E key. So on E key pressed, whilst overlapping the chest, and then we can then say chest, set animation, and we can set it to open, like this. So that's how you would make it work without a key. So you can make it, so if you want it just to work just so you can just open the chest, that's how you do that. And then if you want it to be conditional of having the key, we then need to go back and we need to add a new value. So you could add a global variable, or what you could do is you could add a variable, instance variable, and we can make this a boolean, and we can say, we can just put key, question mark, and so that can be yes or no. So once we've got that will then say, do they have the key or not? And then we can add an event and we can search, so character on collision with another object, key. We need to rename it to key, but we rename it to key and then we can search here, so this is the key. So on collision with the key, and we can then, so we can destroy the key first of all. And then we can also go character, set value. Oh no, so it's set boolean, and then key, we want to set that to true. So on collision with key, destroy the key and set key to true. I'm just going to rename that to key. Another cool thing is, even if you, so then you go in and you rename this to key, for example, this will update everything. So even if you had 100 different versions of that sprite, let's say you forgot to rename your coin, if you rename it, it will then rename it automatically throughout the event sheet too. And then we can add another condition, and we can search character, boolean, is boolean instance variable set, key, so is key, open. So let's test this like this. So as you can see, we've got a key. If I press E, and it opens the chest. Now I'm also going to drag the key over here just to check that we can't open it without the key. We go over here, and I'm pressing E, and as you can see, we can't open the chest. Get the key, we can open the chest. So awesome. So that's how you do that. And then what you could also then do is you could make it so that there's a few ways you could go around that. You could make that so that you just add the value to your coins. So you could just set the coin balance. You could set the coin balance to plus however many coins you'd like. Or you could also make it spawn objects. You know, there's many ways you could do that. So we could just search chest, spawn another object, coin, layer, main. Now for this, that's just spawning a coin. I'm just trying to show you a few different ways you could do this. So you could also make it spawn the particles. So you could spawn the coin particle. And then what you could do is you could also, alternatively, another thing you could do is you could just set, so you could system, add to coins, and then you could just set how much you want. So if you want to give them 50 coins for opening that chest, that's also how you do that. I've just realized, so I added these to the wrong thing, right? So what we need to do is we need to, instead of on collision with key, we need to just select these three and just make sure these are in the right area. And this is also why groups are useful, because then, as you could see, it can get confusing then. Everything's just so close together. So yeah, I think that's it for this episode. This is just a quick one, and yeah, as you can see, we've got nice chest working. I just wanted to also show you the different, I haven't really focused on the environment much. So, you know, we've also got a way how you can interact with the environment a little more. You've got grass wobbling, you can add all the different sprites. We've got a parallax in background. And yeah, so that's it for this one guys, and take care. I'll see you in the next one.